Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you had a good break. A person asked, is there a specific course for time strategies, for slow time strategies, how to build campaigns, incentives, etc.? Yes, it's this course. This course is what's designed for you to put these campaigns into your slow times, to figure out how these are going to fit into your calendar. Sarah asked, how do you get the word out for hosting your own event, especially if it's your first? And the answer is, you just invite. You go crazy. When I did my first event, I called every person I knew every day for 10 days, and I said, you need to be there. And I just pushed my team, pushed my prospects, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's check it all out. Come to this event and just start. Just start. Face your fear and do it anyway. Leap and the net will appear. Say yes. Tell the world and figure it out. I mean, those are the things that really served me over the course of my life. Now, all right. So let's keep moving. We got a lot more campaigns to cover. Now, here's the thing. Remember I talked to you about overwhelm? You can do 5 and 5, or you can do a Zoom meeting thing, or you can do one luncheon a month, or you can do, get everybody to do a luncheon a few times a year, whatever it happens to be. These are just options. You don't have to do all 17 of these things that I'm going to share with you. You can pick and choose. You can do one here, try it out. See how it worked, check the results, do the next one, check the results, get everybody excited, here's the fresh thing, check the results, and keep moving as the year goes on. But this is just ammunition to be able to create more productivity. Just like a retailer will use all of their promotional muscle during the holidays, this is just ideas for you to use promotional muscle when you need to either accelerate the growth that you already have, or you need to fill the gap if it's declining in a season of the year, or whatever it happens to be. Recruiting campaigns. What do I mean by a recruiting campaign? Well, if you tell everybody to go out there and recruit, then they're just going to, it's like the same old toy. Yeah, I know, we're supposed to recruit, but they're not going to do it necessarily. You have to create an assignment and a campaign to, whether it's the first Saturday of every month, everybody on the team is just absolutely dedicated to getting at least one person sponsored into your business. So you got to prepare for it, you got to get ready for it. We're all going to do it together. We're going to have a little a contest. We're going to have a Facebook group, and every time somebody gets one, they're going to post, I got one. So you create some excitement around this recruiting campaign. Maybe it is a 20 and 30 campaign, taking inventory inside of your team. Who's ready? Now, don't push brand new people to do 20 and 30 because it's too much too fast, but you can take inventory with your existing team, and especially if you're going to do it too. Say, I'm going to go do 20 and 30. I'm going to go recruit 20 people in 30 days. Who wants to do it with me? And you can create a 20 and 30 a recruiting campaign where, let's say you get a team of 10 people on your group that say, yes, I want to do it with you. And you train and you coach and you mentor and you guide and you work with them. You help them with calls and you encourage them. You stay in communication. You're going to get more results than if you don't do that, right? So if you encourage, let's say you encourage your top leaders to do 20 and 30 in a particular time of year. Just the idea that this is something new, it's green now. Oh, okay, I'll go do it. So a recruiting campaign, whether it's a 20 and 30 or it's everybody's going to do some particular thing on a particular day or a particular week, think of the recruiting campaigns that you can put into your calendar to get people excited about. You could do a recruiting campaign that ties to one of your events at your company convention. You could say anybody who recruits 20 people between now and the convention in 6 months is going to have a special party in the suite. And we're going to invite all the top earners from the company, and we're going to invite some of the company owners, and we're going to have a special reward if you recruit 20 people in the next 6 months. Who's in? You want to do that? So you can come up with some campaigns around this. These are tent poles, but I want you to think creatively about campaigns that have structure and an assignment. We're all going to do this. Who's ready to do that? Take inventory. Who wants to do a luncheon if we provided some training? And some people ask some more questions about luncheons. Luncheon is really simple. You have a meeting room in a restaurant that's reasonably priced. You come up with a menu with 2 items on it, a meat item and a vegetarian item. You have iced tea and you have water, and people can order separate drinks on their own. You come up with $10, $12, $15 for lunch, okay? You have it start at noon on a Friday, is typically the best. First 15 minutes is meet and greet, get your food, sit down. Okay, order whatever you're going to get. 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, you do a 15 or 20 minute presentation on your company, where you play the video or somebody from the local area speaks for a little bit. Here's the product that we offer. Here's the opportunity that's available. Sharp people are getting involved with our company all the time. Get back with the person who invited you to our luncheon, and they can answer your questions, and we'll be hanging around here until about 1 o'clock. So then people finish eating, they get their questions answered, they meet and mix and mingle, and then they go back to work. That's it. Super simple. Okay? And have your distributors buy lunch for your prospect. It is the best investment you can make, and you can fill that room every single time. And I promise you, that as a campaign is very, very effective. So I hope that helps. So home meetings can be around your product or around your opportunity or around both. It depends on what your culture is inside of your company. Zoom meetings can be the same thing. So just think of these as what works inside of your organization and how can you implement that for your company. So recruiting. Next is customer campaigns. What kind of campaigns can you create within your organization to go gather some customers? Could you come up with everybody on the team is going to make a commitment to get at least 10 customers this month. You can have a little promotion to get 10 customers this month in order to get recognized, in order to be part of some special group, in order to be able to be on a private call with the company owner, in order to do something. But you give it structure. Instead of just saying get customers, we're going to get 5 customers in 5 days. We're going to get 10 customers in 30 days. Who's in? Who wants part of it? If you get it, you get a t-shirt. You get a pin that says 10 or something. You get a plaque. You get a trophy. Whatever it happens, whatever you want to do within your organization, think of this as a campaign that you're going to layer into your calendar in order to be able to hit your goals. Now, if you've got your customer goals that you hit, what campaigns can you put together creatively with structure and a start and a finish time in order to be able to keep people going? Now, this might be something you do once a month. It might be something you do every 90 days. It might be something you do twice a year. It's up to you what you want to do with this. Maybe it's part of your daily method of operation, but I promise you, if you create a campaign with some fun around it, where it's a number of customers in a certain period of time, you're going to get bigger results, for sure. So customers. Now, here's one that I love. If it relates to you, some of you have services, some of you have physical products. Come up with a product sample campaign. I was working with an organization last week, top leaders from a billion-dollar company, going through this. And they have some nutrition and weight loss and energy products, those types of things. So we worked with a strategy with them that one day a month was going to be that day when everybody on the team sampled 10 of an individual product, of the same product. So this month it was going to be this product. And everybody on the team was going to sample 10 of those to 10 prospects, have them try the product and get their feedback and get in conversation with them, potentially to bring them in either as a customer or as a distributor. But imagine if every single person on your team, if you have a tangible product like that, and you could get everybody on the team to sample 10 of those products in that day. And then next month, it's a different product, 10 of those. And next month, it's a different one. You're going to train your people to build more product belief. They're going to be using that product more themselves. They're going to stock up in order to be able to sample that. They're going to create more conversations within their organizations. And everybody will do that where they might not do that product sampling thing as a regular basis. You can give them an event, create an event around product sampling. That make sense? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. Let me give you another one. A rank advancement campaign. Is that high enough they can still see it? Okay, cool. Rank advancement campaign. And I'll give you what I consider to be the best one of those. Every company has a core rank. A rank where it's like the building block. Distributor is like a grain of sand. The rank is like a brick to build a huge building. And a core rank typically takes 30 to 60 days to hit if you're serious, you push hard. It usually has some structure to it. You can't just get there just with customers, but you have to have some structure, some other distributors too. And you can go all the way to the top of your company by building that rank. Now, that core rank is where I would recommend that you do most of your rank advancement campaigns. You could do this monthly, you could do this quarterly, but here's what I would suggest in doing this rank advancement campaign. You could say January is going to be whatever your core rank is. Write down what your core rank is in your notes, but it's going to be core rank month. Who wants to get to that rank in the month of January? And here, those who raise their hand, you take inventory in the team, we're going to provide training and communication and support and three-way calls and conference calls. We're going to provide all kinds of support to help you get this rank advancement done in the month of January. We want to create more people at that core rank than we've ever created before in the month of January. You could do that in July. We're going to have another one. You could do that during the holiday season. We're going to have another one. Or if you're a high-level leader, you might want to do that monthly. Take inventory of your team. Who wants to go to that core rank in January? 20 people say yes. 4 people make it. You recognize those 4 people like crazy. You encourage the other 16 to tell them, okay, let's start again. We got a little closer. You tell the story of those 4 people as an example of what other people can do. And then in February, you take inventory again and you grow that group. And just by doing that on a monthly basis, you'll go from 4 to 8 to 12 to whatever number over the course of 12 months. You do that the next 18 months in a row. This tactic alone, whatever your income is, you can quadruple it. If you're effective in getting your organization to engage in this campaign, and only this campaign for 18 consecutive months, you cannot even measure how powerfully you will grow. So rank advancement is another campaign. And you can use it for any rank, but I would encourage you to use the core rank versus the higher level ranks. Use the core rank because you can get to the higher level ranks by just getting more people into that core rank, okay? And everybody can do this. It doesn't distract the world. And again, it's the same thing that we're already doing, but it's fresh. We're going to do it together. We have this strategy to be able to pull it off. Next. Social media campaign, or a Facebook Live campaign, or a YouTube campaign, whatever it happens to be. Coming up with a campaign that you're going to do. Some people are intimidated by social media. Some people in the company are very savvy. Take what the savvy people are doing and then encourage everybody inside the group to do that one activity. I want everybody to put this one post out. Put this post out and follow up with the people who comment and connect with you. Or put this one video out. Or do a Facebook Live about your story. Or whatever it happens to be inside of your organization. Make sure it's compliant within policies and procedures. But it's one thing to tell people to do social media. And again, GoPro Academy members, you've got social media mastery, so you can know the do's and don'ts in order to be able to do that. Everybody else, you should be part of GoPro Academy. It's the best way to get coaching over the course of the next year, and you get all these products. But anyway, social media, if you just tell everybody to do it, very few people are going to do it. But if you spoon feed them and you lead them to just do this one thing for one day, do this one thing for 3 days, right? It's a little 3-day campaign to get everybody to engage with more people. You're going to get big results. And then they're going to be more apt to do it again. So think of the things that you can do with a larger group of people, because the formula for duplication in this business is getting a large people to do a few simple things over a long period of time consistently, right? So social media is just another one. Lots of different strategies, whatever's working within your organization. See if you can come up with just a idiot-proof follow the bouncing ball, 1, 2, 3. We're all going to do this over these 3 days. Who's in? day 1, we're going to post this. Day 2, we're going to post this. Day 3, we're going to do a Facebook Live. That's just an example. Whatever it happens to be. Maybe it's a launch. You're going to relaunch your business using social media. Whatever you're doing inside there, get your team to do it in a campaign, and you're going to get bigger results. All right. This good? Outside of personal coaching, 6-figure people, I don't really go through this type of stuff. So I hope you're getting value from this, and I hope you're going to go out there and kill it. That's what I want you to do. Just absolutely crush all of your goals. Next. You can come up with either an international, if you're an international company, or a long distance campaign. And here's what I mean by that. You could come up with a campaign that says, in these 10 days, everybody on the team is going to identify 10 people that live outside of 100 miles from their local community, and they're going to connect with those 10 people, and they're going to share the opportunity with them. Anywhere in the world. It just can't be in your backyard. So now you've just come up with a new color, and you just say, hey, here's a new thing. We're going to go do this, right? So imagine you do this for a 10-day period of time, and everybody on the team says, okay, or let's say your company is expanding to Germany or something. You could do a campaign just for Germany and say, here's what I want you to do. I want you to ask everybody, who do you know in Germany? Who do you know in Germany? Who do you know in Germany? Over and over and over until you get a list of 10 people. Can I get their contact information? We're expanding to Germany. I'd love to get their feedback. I'd love to let them check out our product, and I'd love to ask them if this is going to work in the local market. Can you give me their contact information? And then teach people what to send to those people. Hey, so-and-so recommended you because you live in Germany and you also speak English, or here's the information in German if your company has it, et cetera, et cetera. So if you did a program like that, are you more apt to get some results in your international campaign by doing that? Answer is of course. Now, if you live in Las Vegas, where I am at this moment, and you don't have any business in Illinois, you could do the same thing. Ask everybody you know on the team, this month is Illinois month. We're going to send as much information from every possible aspect into the people in Illinois because we want to expand our business to Illinois. And get everybody coming together. Now, if you get enough excitement, then you could fly in and meet all those people and help them get started. So this international campaign, think about this as just another excuse to get people into action when they wouldn't have been in action. Give them an assignment. Sometimes you're going to send a physical package with product samples or something, articles about your company, recognition, et cetera, how the company's been recognized, and send that to those people. Okay? Get everybody to do that, and you're going to get better results. So Becca says, because she's feeling overwhelmed, how many campaigns do you recommend to run at once? Here's the thing. It's going to be very difficult for you to do the 17 things that I'm describing here, more than one at a time. But what I will tell you is you could do, some of these will be recurring. Some of these will be monthly. Let's say you come up with a product sample thing. You can just do that every month, and you lead up to that, and everybody's equipped, and it doesn't take a lot of promotional muscle. But if it takes a lot of promotional muscle, like a rank advancement thing, and everybody's going to gear up for that, and they're going to do that, then maybe that's something that can coincide with it. You do a specific recruiting, or let's say you do a 5-and-5 home meeting thing. Maybe you do that separate, so you layer these in. So you don't want to have all of them running at the same time. You want to be able to kind of stagger them. So you always have a fresh thing. You always have, here's a new, we just finished this one, here's the next one. Okay? So it's like, I'm not talking about the inner game of emotional mastery and becoming unstoppable in network marketing here in this course, because we're talking about creating the ultimate game plan. But next month, I'm going to do that. And people involved in GoPro Academy get it as part of their membership, and people who are not can pay $97, and we'll promote towards that as an example, right? So you apply this to your business. This month is home meeting push to be able to build that into your culture. Then next month, maybe you introduce luncheons and have everybody try it to see how they like it. And the ones that can continue will continue. Then maybe you have a product sample thing, and maybe you have a rank advancement thing. You figure out where you want to do this, and just understand, you don't want people to overwhelm. Because are any of these things a system outside of what you're doing? None of them are. They're all just an excuse to do the same fundamental things that they're bored doing. But you give them some fun, something fresh, and an assignment which they crave. Okay? Make sense? All right, let's keep moving. I'm getting fired up. This is exciting for me. International. Now, a one-day recruiting marathon or a one-day presentation marathon. If you did a 30-minute, I'll give you an example. People love assignments, number one, but they like tough assignments. They want somebody to push them to their capability. So what if, assuming that a Saturday doesn't mess with your religious beliefs? If it does, then pick a different day. But let's just assume that that one day a week, you could say, that's going to be presentation marathon day. And you could do a presentation of what it is that you have to offer in 30 minutes. Okay, you figure out that presentation. Could you set up shop in the corner of a Starbucks and do one presentation every half an hour for 10 hours? The answer is of course. It's a marathon. Could you go 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 12 hours? That would be 24 individual presentations in one day. We're going to have a presentation marathon. So here's what we're going to do to prepare for that. We're going to teach you how to send out text messages and invite people every half an hour all day long for 12 straight hours. And you're going to, let's say you take 2 hours off for lunch and whatever, go to the bathroom. So you end up with 10 hours, 20 presentations. So you're going to schedule 20 presentations in one day. And you're going to teach your team, we're all going to do this. Pick where you're going to go, who's in, who would like to do this with us. All we're going to do is talk to people. We're going to talk to 20 people in one day, one-on-one. We're going to show them what we have to offer. We're going to say, are you in or are you out, or you want more information? And then we're going to move on to the next. And we're going to do that 20 times. Now imagine you get 100 people on your team to do that. What's going to happen to recruiting in your group? Explosion of growth. What if you only have 10 people on your team, but 2 people agreed to do it? You and one other person. What's going to happen to the recruits? Your team's going to absolutely explode. This is just an excuse to do the same thing you were doing before, but with some structure. So a recruiting or a presentation marathon is an idea. A prospect by occupation. I learned this from Jim Rohn. You could decide that you're going to do a campaign specifically for insurance agents. They're independent entrepreneurial types. And for 1 week, everybody on the team was going to contact every single insurance agent that they knew, and they were going to present to them. And you're going to teach them how to talk to them. You're going to have videos and testimonials from people inside of your company that are or were insurance agents, that you can show these insurance agents and see those people from that background having success in your business. And you get everybody to think, they can't think of anybody, but when you tell them, oh, this week it's only insurance agents. Oh, well, I know like 6 of those. And you give them a way to invite them to a Zoom call, invite them to some presentation, send them some links to be able to watch, invite them to get onto a conference call, whatever it happens to be. Now everybody in the organization engages in that activity. And then maybe next time it's chiropractors, or it's personal trainers, or it's nutritionists, or it's nurses, or it's teachers, or it's real estate agents, or it's pharmaceutical reps. You pick, it doesn't matter. But get everybody to think outside of the box, and this week we're just going to focus on this. And all you're going to do is you're going to provide them training on how to do it, tools in order to be able to tell the story to those people, and support in helping them follow up. By doing this, it's just another color. It's another color, but people get excited. This, in the summer months, could you not talk to teachers that have some time off during the summer and are looking for some income during the summer? Could you do it for homemakers? Occupation, one of the lowest paid, highest stress occupations in the world, being a homemaker, raising a family. Could you do it with those people? Of course. So think about prospecting by occupation and how you can layer this in, okay? Raven asks, at the coffee shop presentations, are you talking to scheduled appointments or cold prospects or a mix? I'm personally kind of uncomfortable with cold prospects, just meeting somebody going into a presentation. I'm not looking to grab somebody who's sitting next to me in a Starbucks and say, hey, come on over here, let me show you something. What I'm talking about is what I would do if I was going to do 20 presentations on a Saturday is I would send out text messages starting on Monday. Hey, are you available sometime on Saturday? I'd like to sit down with you at Starbucks. I've got something exciting I want to share with you. Are you available for coffee? Let's get together. I can tell you what's going on in my life. I can find out what's going on in your life. Okay? And I would just send enough text messages Monday through Friday that my calendar was filled. That's what I would do. And now not 100% are going to be there, not 100% going to be on time, but I'll tell you, you're going to get so sharp after one day of doing this, you're going to get incredible results. Okay? And it's going to get faster and your posture is going to get better. Because sometimes we find ourselves, we do one prospecting appointment and we're nervous, and we do 2 or 3 and then we get a little more comfortable, and then we stop doing them for a while, then we come back and we're nervous again. Or if you do 1 a week, you're nervous every time. You do 20, you're going to get comfortable real fast. Hey, here's a product, here's the opportunity, here's the timing, here's the support. Are you in or are you out? You want more information or not? That's where it gets to by the end of a day like that. Your posture just changes. And imagine how exciting you get if, in the morning you signed up one, and, before lunch you signed up a second one, and mid-afternoon you signed up a third, and 5 people are thinking about it. Sign up one more at 6 o'clock at night, you signed up 4 people in a day, and you have 6 other people thinking about it? What a day. You're going to be jacked up like crazy on caffeine by the end of that day, sitting in Starbucks, but but you're going to get results, okay? So does that help? All right. Now, prospecting by occupation is another. Here's another. If it works, this doesn't appeal to every product, but if you're with a company that has products that you use in the home, come up with a campaign across the entire organization to convert your home in every way possible. Take products that are currently being used and replace them with your company products. Take that product out of the bathroom, replace it with another. Take that one out of the kitchen, replace it with another. And teach people step by step how to do that. And you can have a worldwide convert your home to an XYZ company home campaign where you all did it, you all told stories, and you all had fun with it. And imagine what happens in productivity when people really become a product of the product in that fashion, okay? So think about converting your home. That's another. Entrepreneur events. Could you host a local event for prospects to talk about entrepreneurship? Because it's sexy now, I'm telling you, entrepreneurship is sexy. People know that they need to find a way to be in business for themselves, but they don't know how. So you talk about entrepreneurship, you have some local entrepreneurs speak about the value of entrepreneurship, and you can host this event by your team or your company, and people will say, look, this may be an option for you. You could say at the end of the little event, let's say you have a 2-hour event on sometime during the week, and you have a keynote top CEO from your local community come in and talk about entrepreneurship, and you can promote that, right? And you can host it by you, and at the end, if you don't have entrepreneurial options and you'd be open to taking a look at what we have, go back to that back table and we'll give you some more information we can follow up. That's a way to attract entrepreneurs into that. Lisa asks, if you've been doing this for a year or 2 and have exhausted your list, they already know what you're doing, would you invite to coffee? The answer is yes, of course. Now here's what I would tell you. I know you feel like you've exhausted your list, and I've felt that way too. If you get better at social media, you'll be able to refresh your list really fast. If you network within your community in events like this, you can you can grow your list very fast. Another one that's kind of connected to this is networking groups. Networking groups. Using networking groups like BNI, those types of things. Connecting to networking groups. You connect to networking groups. Here's what I would tell you. If you don't have people to talk to, if you've run out, and some of you feel that pain, a big part of your business plan to hit your goals is to come up with a business plan around finding new people. I did a big event in Vienna, Austria, and big arena. And I was going through this topic, and I was doing some live coaching in front of all these people, 15,000 people. And a very sharp guy raised his hand. He said, I just moved to Milan, Italy, and I don't know anybody in Milan. So I don't know how I'm going to grow my business. And, you know, I'm from a different city. I said, sir, have you ever written a business plan? He said, yeah. I said, well, I want you to write a business plan on finding prospects in Milan. And he went, oh, like it had never dawned on him. He went, oh, it's not just my list of friends. I can, as an entrepreneur, create a business plan around finding prospects. I said, you got it? He said, yeah. He said, I said, tomorrow when we come back for day 2 of this training, I want you to present your business plan to the rest of the 15,000 people. So I provided some accountability. I provided a little push for him to be able, he came back the next day and just crushed the room. He just said, I'm doing this. I'm going to organize these neighborhood things. I'm going to connect with these networking groups. I'm going to meet all the local merchants in my local community. I'm going to connect with all the influencers. I'm going to do this. And he said, I'm not worried about it anymore. So I think it was Lisa that added that. Same thing. Yeah, Lisa. Same thing. Create a business plan around this. But even with your friends that already know, would you sit down and have coffee and tell your story and explain what's going on? Sure. And if they don't want to talk business, just build a relationship anyway. You don't need to push. Take that time. Time spent in front of a prospect will always pay big money. Whether or not they're interested in the opportunity right now, it'll always pay dividends. Okay? So, networking groups. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, he's $1 million a year earner, and for many, many years. He built about 30% of his entire organization was using this campaign alone. He pushed his people within his downline to register and connect into BNI chapters around the world. BNI chapters. And he eventually ended up with more than 1,000 of his people in 1,000 different BNI networking groups around the world. And just connecting with those people and building rapport with those people. And 30% of his income at a minimum, $360,000 a year plus, comes from just that strategy alone. So it can work for you personally. It can also work. Imagine if you tell your team, who wants to connect with a local networking group and be a professional, and show them how to interact inside of that group. We're 2.5 hours, huh? All right, I'm gonna keep moving. Boy, oh boy. I'm gonna squeeze it into this page. Big online events. You can create an online event. Let's say it's doing something like this. Let's say it's a training event you want to do for your entire team. Get everybody and get them focused on a skill. Or you're going to use this event to promote the big event at the end of the year from the company. You have the company owners and different people on it. You're using this online event strategy in order to be able to promote whatever the culture piece or the event piece that you're using in order to be able to hit your goals. You might use the online event to promote your home meeting campaign. You might use the online event to promote any of these others. It might be by itself a big global, everybody's going to tune in and bring your prospects to that event. But give it specificity. BNI. Give it specificity. Here, if you just tell people, invite your prospects to come to this event, you're going to get one result, and it's smaller. If you tell everybody on the team, your assignment is to bring 3 prospects, connect 3 prospects to this big online event. That's your assignment. They'll go, okay, and they'll go get their 3. You'll get 100, 200% more people attending if you tell them 3 versus tell them invite everybody. So specificity around the assignment and achievability around the assignment is important. So use big online events in order to promote this other stuff or to recruit or to train on your own. All right, next. The Super Saturday events, as far as a campaign, I did one thing that worked really good in my career is teaching people how to host an event in their town. And sometimes people aren't ready to do a weekly or anything like that. But if I could create a culture within my organization where every single city where we had a presence, we had somebody working in every city in the world, that we had an organization, that they would host a Super Saturday event once a month. That once a month, everybody was engaged in hosting an event in their local town that typically had an opportunity presentation, a basic training, and a little bit of recognition for the previous month. So everybody all month long invites people to that Super Saturday, and at that Super Saturday, you get an overview of the company, you hear some testimonials, you get some training, and you get some recognition. Those 3 things. You can cover all 3 of those things in like 3 hours, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or whatever. You pick the hours that work for you and your culture. But a Super Saturday event or a Super Sunday, depending on your religious beliefs, that once a month, here was my campaign. Sorry if I'm hitting the microphone. My campaign was to do this. How many cities can I have a Super Saturday happening? That was my campaign. You want to pick a campaign as a leader that can really grow your business over the course of 18 months? How many cities would you like to, independent cities, would you like to be doing a Super Saturday event 18 months from today? How many do you have now? 18 months from today, how many do you need to have in order to be able to hit the goals that you want? What would be your target? And then create processes in order to be able to help people get from here to doing it on their own. So what I used to do is I would do my Super Saturday events and I would have my team fly in or drive into my event and see how I did it. We would record it. They could take the recording, go home, and they would, while they were in my city, we would have them schedule theirs in their city. They would be able to promote towards it. You just have a different team. Imagine if you have teams in 30 cities. And right now there's no Super Saturday events happening in any of the 30 cities. And same group, same leaders, no Super Saturdays. And same group, same leaders, 30 Super Saturdays happening once a month. Which team's going to create more volume? Which team's going to build more leaders? Which team is going to have more influencers? Which team is going to create more results? This team, of course. This team's still great, but this strategy alone by itself can multiply your results. Running out of room. Here's another big one. This is a higher level, but I call it fly-in events. Let's say you live here in the United States and your home office is in Utah. A lot of home offices happen to be in Utah. So let's say you're there, okay? And you live someplace else. What I did and what top level leaders do is they use the home office itself as a belief building tool. So what a lot of top leaders do, and you may or may not know this, is they set a date for a fly-in event at the home office. And they bring prospects to the home office. So typically, you'll bring them there to the home office. They'll get a tour. They'll meet the executives. And then there'll be some kind of a presentation / training that evening. And they'll fly home the next day. But what I would do is I would tell somebody, if I was talking to you, I would say, listen, I want you to take a look at this business, but I want you to look at it at a high level. If you're going to look at anything, I think you need to understand it. And I've talked to the people at the home office about you in particular. They'd love to meet you. So I'd like you to fly with me to Utah to meet them and see what this is all about. Kick the tires, get your questions answered, find out what you would do if you did get involved in this business, hear it from somebody other than me. Let's go together. Let's go check it out. We'll fly out there Friday morning. We'll check it out. We'll fly back on Saturday. And you'll be able to have a professional look. Like anybody looking at a real business, you'll be able to have a professional look. I found that high-level entrepreneurial types, that fit their model better than coming to a home meeting or a hotel meeting or a Zoom meeting. Flying to the home office, it was prestigious. So I would organize with the company, and the company would be ready for me and my guests. Maybe I'd bring half a dozen prospects. And here's what I would tell the prospects. You pick up your airfare and one-night hotel. We'll take care of the food. And if you don't agree that this is great, you decide this is not for you, I'll reimburse your expenses for travel. And I probably reimbursed 20% maybe of the travel expense. 80% of them said, no, we're good. You have to be really, really bad for those people not to see an opportunity when you go through that process. I mean, it's just super, thermonuclear when it comes to its capability. I mean, the vision of it is just astounding when you walk them through and they meet everybody. So this flying event, I got, for periods of time in my career, we'd do this once a month, and we'd have 1,000 people. I'd have all of my team there, maybe 600 or 700 guests, and 200 or 300 distributors for a big, walk them through the tour, scheduled tours all day. That evening, get together and share the opportunity to get their questions answered, provide a little training, fly back. And our recruiting was astronomical, so powerful, this flying event strategy, okay? So whether it's flying a home office. So this campaign stuff, is this all there is? No. If you bring your creativity, you're gonna find some things. Some of you have been around for a while. Think about the things that have worked before that you stopped doing. Sometimes things work so well, we stop doing them. What worked? What campaigns worked? What strategies worked? What incentives worked? Think about those things, and don't let this overwhelm you. I want you to write it all down. I want you to be able to kind of absorb it. And then I want you to decide, okay, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to do that there. I'm going to do this one-day, presentation marathon. I'm going to get everybody to join a networking group. I'm going to do an online event that's going to promote this. I'm going to do a Super Saturday, and that's going to help promote this rank advancement, whatever it happens to be. But this is business plan materials for you to be able to create a business plan, okay? If you have questions about this, start asking those questions. I'm going to go through the fourth and the fifth quickly because we don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to go through team building and the reinforcement of these campaigns. But go ahead and ask some questions if you have questions around these campaigns, and I'll answer them in a moment. Number 4 is team building. Team building strategies. Now, all of these campaigns are going to help with team building, but we're here to kind of develop leaders. So I would say personal growth. If you reinforce personal growth within your organization, you're going to sell more. You're going to create more activity. If you have personal growth. So what does that mean? You might be promoting, a lot of people use GoPro as an example. GoPro Academy, what you're experiencing right now, might be an example for personal growth. Suggested books, suggested audio programs, audio books, whatever. Get people working on their personal selves because we are the ultimate asset. So come up with a campaign for personal growth inside of your team and always have that be a fundamental. Remember I talked about the baseline of duplication? Use the product, talk to people, promote events, personal development. Personal development is critical. So teach people 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 10 pages a day of a good book, whatever. Something to be able to help you help your team develop its own kind of muscle. So personal growth. So we talked about before, skills drive. You can have a campaign around skills. This month we're going to teach you how to find prospects. This month we're going to teach you social media. We're going to teach you how to recruit 20 people in 30 days. We're going to teach you how to invite. We're going to teach you how to answer objections, whatever it happens to be. Skills drives. There's a company that I speak for in Europe that have this concept called the clubhouse. And this is, this is advanced. So I'm just going to give you an advanced thing. Then I'll answer Glenn and Denise's question. The clubhouse strategy for this company is they have a house in Mallorca, yeah? Yeah. They have a house in Mallorca on the water. And it sleeps like 25 people. Big house, a lot of lifestyle. The company has this house, and they have a methodology, a system, a campaign within their company that people at a certain rank and above can bring people who qualify at the core rank. Well, their core rank is different than your core rank in your company, but think about what your core rank is. They invite them to come. The leader brings 20 people in for 3 days. And the leader pays a little bit per day for the house, but he has 20 people on his team that just qualified for it. So they push to get to that rank and say, come to Mallorca, spend 3 days with us. And in those 3 days, the leader has time to just totally pour himself into him or herself into that team and get them to see the vision and get them trained and help them overcome their emotional obstacles. And in doing that, these people go home on fire. And that team leaves, and another leader comes in the next 3 days with another group, and another leader comes in the next. That clubhouse is booked 365 days a year with 20 people, 20 people, 20 people, 20 people, 20 people, 20 people, all at this core rank, all getting a picture of what their future could be like. And to them, this is their secret weapon. This company's approaching $3 billion in sales. So think of something like that. When somebody gets to that core rank, then there's something that you can engage with them. It might not be, maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's a house that you rent. Maybe it's something that people could drive to a resort area to be able to mix and mingle with big shots. It's an advanced strategy, but I would not be serving you if I didn't just suggest it. Another tool is like family reunion type events to build team and culture. If you get together and have a holiday party, if you get together and have pizza night, if you get together and have a summer picnic, or you get the kids together and everybody goes and has fun, or you have a bowling night, or whatever happens to be, everybody goes to the Wet and Wild water park. These type of events build culture and build the team, get people excited to be part of the team, and this is another tool that you can utilize inside of the organization. Now, I'm going to go over to questions before I continue. Glenn and Denise Payne ask, what's the motivation for these campaigns for your team, other than the success that comes with it? If they're not easily motivated, gifts or rewards. Here's what I will tell you. I'll talk, the fifth part here is reinforcement of the campaigns. How do you reinforce it? And I'll talk about it there, but I'll talk a little bit about it now. Most of the time, all they need is an assignment. Most of the time, they just need somebody, they're waiting for somebody to tell them that something they could do, it's possible to do, sounds fun, everybody seems to do it, it's not forever, it's just for 3 days, or it's just for 1 week, or something, and they go, okay. So some people you need to, sometimes it's recognition, sometimes it's peer pressure. We'll talk about that in a moment, okay? But most of it is just the assignment and the simplicity of the campaign. You give it a beginning, a structure, and an end. And training on how to do it. And they join for a reason. They just, right now, it seems too big and too ambiguous. When you make it finite and simple, they move into action, okay? Humphrey asks, if you didn't have a large enough organization for a big event, would you advise asking your upline to go into it with you and bring their legs to the event? Sure. You can work with I've worked with lots of cross-line people so long as the culture was similar inside of your local community. You want to use that event to build belief and help grow leaders. So if you don't have a large enough organization, I will tell you, if there's nobody else in your town, you're all by yourself, start with you. Make your first event 10 people, 5 people, I don't care. Have fun. Make your first event a luncheon and then grow from there. But start. Don't let something get in your way. Okay? All right. Let me finish up this. Another team building tool are charity drives. There's a huge section of the world that are motivated by giving, by philanthropy. And if you connect your team with a charity in your local community or your country or something that you all agree is important or it's in alignment with your mission, coming up with charity drives will bring people out of the woodwork. The spouses of people that never engaged with anything with the business will get excited about this charity because that's their groove. Or people that, they'll look at this first and then they'll take a look at the business second. But think of a cause that matters to you and decide this year at some point, let's say your company is involved in a particular charity. And you want to support that. Could you come up with a drive inside of your team to raise money and bring a check to the company that you can get to go up on stage with your team and said, we raised X amount of money for the charity. Would that be good for your team? The answer is of course. So think about this. Philanthropy is an important piece. And one more. And have you noticed that these are just really more campaigns, but they're driven around team building? They're just more campaigns, right? There's a lot of stuff that you can do. I'm giving you everything. And then you can model this. Again, don't get overwhelmed. Write it all down. Absorb it. Watch this replay over and over until you can, okay. And it's going to take you, a couple weeks of focus. If you focus an hour or two a day for a couple weeks, then you get your plan solid. Then you need to sit down with your leaders and you got to figure out how you're going to roll it out and are they in agreement and can you collaborate with them in order to be able to make it happen because the team is going to be more powerful than the individual. Then move, right? So presenter schools. It's really important. The more presenters that you have on your team, that's one of the common denominators of an influencer. They're able to say the words, not just push play. They're able to say the words, not just invite somebody to a Zoom call. They can say the words, right? So, but they're afraid to say the words in too big or too important of a situation if they're brand new. So you need to create an environment, and my recommendation to many, many leaders is to create a presenter school in your local community. Create a presenter school. Here's what I mean by that. Ask people on your team who would like to learn how to be a presenter. And if they say me, I want to face my fear, or me, I want to get in front of the room, invite them to your home or somebody's home once a week. And in a couple hours, teach them and work together and practice presenting. Practice an introduction. Practice telling your story. Practice telling the company story. Practice sharing the product. Practice showing how the compensation works in a general format. Practice asking people guiding people through making a decision. Practice the presentation. Practice the basic training. Practice the getting started training, right? Practice all of these different things. If you use this one thing, the more people you have as a solid, you can trust them, they can nail it presenter, the faster your organization is going to grow because there's only so much you can do. Okay? You can rely on technology or you can duplicate the presenters within your organization. And that's what I would suggest you do is duplicate the presenters within your organization. All right. I think I can fit reinforcement of campaigns over here. Reinforcement of campaigns. So how do you, back to the question, how do you get people to do all these things, right? So one thing that drives people is recognition. Another thing that drives them is repetition. If you're going to promote these things, you can't just do it once. You got to repeat over and over and over and over and over and over and over until they realize you're serious. You can use incentives, large or small, depending on how big your organization is and how big the goal is. I mean, you can come up with, for any of these things, you can come up with a trophy for number 1 and plaques for the top 10. Doesn't cost very much. You know, you could have gift certificates, you could have recognition up on a website. You know, here's the people who did it first, here's your Hall of Fame, here's your whatever. So you can come up with incentives, you can come up with contests with different kinds of rewards. And sometimes it's just recognition as a reward inside of the contest, or inner circle proximity. You get to get connected. You get to be introduced to so-and-so. You get to have your picture taken with X, you know, person, whatever it happens to be. So recognition, repetition, incentives, contests, peer pressure. Peer pressure. If you publish by the top rank down to the bottom rank, you publish on Facebook or up on your team website or whatever, all the people who are registered for your next company event by rank, what's that going to do as far as peer pressure? Everybody's going to look for their name. And if their name's not on it, they're going to be embarrassed and they're going to want to get recognized. So negative and positive peer pressure. Inclusion and exclusion. Embracing people who are engaged in the campaign and not spending as much time with people who are not engaged in the campaign. Leaning forward to the people who are going to the next event and leaning back a little bit of people who are not going to the next event. Letting them feel the difference, letting them see the difference. So peer pressure is big. Communication, we talked about that, but I'll put it up here. Communication, repetition, it's important. And overall, just culture, right? Culture of how what your organization is known for. Is it known for speed? Is it known for whatever? These things reinforce all of these campaigns. All of this stuff. So, man, I got a lot to cover. Okay. So we talked about events, we talked about calendar, we talked about building activity, team building, and reinforcement of campaigns. So, if you have questions, who's got questions? If you have some questions on these things, all of these things that I covered, Marina, have you gathered any questions or are they just kind of going? Okay. Okay. So we talked about, let me just kind of recap. We're going to talk about goals and outcomes, strategies, business plan, and accountability. Let me do this. We're going to go into business plan and accountability. This was the longest session when we talk about the strategies. It was the most meatiest stuff. But let me do this. I'm going to talk about we're going to talk about business plan and accountability. Those are the last two pieces. How to take all the stuff and put it into a business plan, which I can't do for everybody. I'm gonna give you the structure of what I would do if I was you inside of the business plan. And then we're gonna talk about accountability, how to force yourself to follow through on this after this feeling that you have, the excitement that you have in putting it together is in place. But let me tell you this. I hope you're getting value here. I love that, I love working with willing people. I love investing my time in people who are serious. And if this type of content would be valuable to you once a month, then my suggestion to you is for sure, be a member of GoPro Academy. Like I talked about, you get a session like this with this dense information, this high level information, high coaching information. Me and you, just creating a business plan. I think GoPro Academy is going to help you tremendously. That's why I put it together. I'm excited about it because this type of coaching experience is something that I crave, but my time doesn't allow me to do it one-on-one, but we can do private group like we're doing now, and we can do interaction like we're doing now. I want to create more millionaires out of GoPro Academy inside the network marketing community than have ever been created out of any program ever. I want to build an unstoppable influencer development team inside of that group. So I really hope, if you're watching, that you've gotten a value so far with this that you go, okay, well, dang, if he's going to do this once a month for the next 18 months, where's your business going to grow? And that's exactly the thing. Your business is going to grow dramatically. So you can get access to all that stuff. So click on the link, do that. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. If you have some questions during the break, we're going to take 3 minutes so you can refresh yourselves, and I can get a glass of water. We're going to come back. We're going to go through business plan and accountability, okay? And we're going to wrap it up. We'll be done in about, depending on the questions you have at the end, about a half an hour, okay? So 3 minutes. See you in a minute.